This is from chapter 6 in our Mind Action series, and we are busy with exercise 12, and we can see within this exercise the process called substitution is playing a role here. It's yet another technique. You get various techniques in maths. Let me just quickly paint the picture with regards to that. Think of it as a little cloud. Here's a cloud in the sky, and within that cloud you have various processes. There's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. Okay? Let's call this cloud algebra. Okay? Now, within the world of algebra, you have simplifying. We've done quite a bit of those. We have substitution. That's what we're doing now. We'll still have solving for x, which is coming up. And then what we do with this last one, we incorporate simplifying and we incorporate solving. Simplify together with solve, and we start calling these linear equations graphs. And that's when we will interpret a graph that looks very much like this, and we have a rule for the graph, and we substitute something into x, and that x value gives us a certain y value at that coordinate. This is where it all leads to. So if we cannot simplify, we cannot solve. If we cannot substitute, we cannot do graphs. The one will affect the other. So it's really important that we take care with these concepts. Right. Very important also with substitution as such is to understand that the given values need to be used in order to determine the value of the expression. You must write them down correctly. You must read your question. If the question states that A, let me color code them. For this one, A is 1 in this instance. B is 2 and C is 3. Okay. Luckily, they're all positive integers. Luckily, they're not negative values because, wow, once we throw those negative values in there, it's going to be quite tricky. Let's look at our first one. We are given A plus B plus C. In your workbooks, next to your red line on your page, it's best to, in your margin, have your equal sign right here. And as you work, you replace your letter A with 1. I keep my plus, it's still part of my expression. I replace B with 2. I keep my plus. I replace C with 3. And now I go ahead and I continue. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6. And there's my answer. Do remember the crucial rule for plus and minus to follow this procedure from left to right, okay? Not to make mistakes. So let's take another one. A plus B times C. That's basically what it means. Or commutative law, you may say that because it's times. Times 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. It's still the same. So you may shuffle that in order to simplify life. C is 3. A is 1. B is 2. Here comes BODMAS, BODMAS, BODMAS. Brackets of division, multiplication, then addition and subtraction. So we have a bracket here. Our bracket shows us what needs to be done first. I keep my 3. This is how I'm answering my question in my answer book. I simplify, I help my eyes and my brain, and I work underneath each other. 1 plus 2 is 3. That leaves me with 3 times 3, which is 9. Let's take another one. Number 10. 2a cubed minus 4bc. Work in my book nicely underneath each other. Keep my 2, it's still part of my equation. I substitute a for 1, but still to the power of 3, minus 4. I substitute 2 into the position of b. I substitute 3 into the position of c. Now I continue 2 times. Have I sorted this out? 1 to the power of 3 takes priority. 2 times 1. Let me just sort my brackets out. 4, this is up to you. You can either say 4 times 2, that's 8 times 3, or you can first do 2 times 3, that's 4 times 6. Product shares the commutative law. Commutative law, I may change the order. Commute, think about your train. Your train's final destination is still the same destination. Whether I go A, B, C, or B, C, A, or C, B, A, my product is still the same. Now for my next step, look at how I'm keeping my equal sign aligned. 2 times 1 is 2. Keep my minus. 4 times 6 is 24. Would have been the same as 8 times 3. 2. Oh, here we go. A lot of errors with my negatives. I see we completely forgot that we are working on the number line. I have 2, but I am subtracting negative 24. You only have a positive 2. Your answer gets way more negative. Negative 22. I promise you, it's a promise that is set in stone. The promise is, if you do it the way I'm showing you, you will not make mistakes. Because the way I'm showing you is based on the way that helps your brain and it helps your eyes. And that's what you need for maths. You need your brain and your eyes to comfortably follow what is happening. Otherwise, we get confused, we write down the wrong thing, we get in a tiz because we don't know what we're doing, and we get all hot and flustered, and then all our confidence blows out of the window and we can't do the next question. So if we stay calm and if we follow it in this order, we're always going to work accurately. Now I'm going to take section B because of all those negatives. And I'm going to just transfer that information onto the side. A is negative 2, B is 3, C is negative 1, and we have a D is 0. Right. Let's do that A plus B squared. Okay, there's A plus B to the power of 2. There's that one. And then let's take AC minus 3B. Okay, so once again, you may color code. I don't mind that you use color. I actually encourage that you use color. Color code your letters and your variables with their values. This is all part of substitution. I always keep what has been given. I always keep it for myself in that order. And then I go and I replace what I've been asked to replace with the given value. And you'll quickly see, because our focus here is to substitute, our eye can already pick up on where my bigger bracket is. So my eye is clear in what it needs to do, and my brain can follow without any confusion, because my eye can see, I need to do what's in that bracket first. Now, what is minus 2 plus 3? It is not minus times a positive. We are not multiplying and dividing. Therefore, the rules with the minus times a positive is not applicable here. All we're doing is moving on the number line. Minus 2 plus 3 is 1. And 1 squared is 1 times 1, which is 1. There we go. Now let's look at AC minus 3B. A is given as a negative 2. Substitute by using your bracket. It keeps your work neat, and it prevents you from making mistakes with all these positive and negative signs. This is the original minus that was right here. This is the original 3 that was given in my expression. B is replaced by 3. Now I have product. Now I have the really interesting, if we compare this, really nice to see the difference, eh? The difference in adding and subtracting, and the difference in multiplying and dividing. My rule is a negative times a negative makes a positive. So, negative 2 times the negative 1 becomes a positive. 2 times 1 is 2. Negative 3 times 3, 9. Back to my number line. Back to positive 2, but I am subtracting a big fat 9, which means my final answer can no longer be positive. Minus 7. Right. Let's look for one where D was also in there, because I want to just check that you guys know what happens with D. Okay, let's do number 6. A, B minus BD. Right. So I have A, which is minus 2. Let me put it in a nice little bracket. B, which is 3. Work neatly so that you can see what you're doing. There's another B. Make sure you keep the signs of the original variables, and D for dad is replaced with a 0 now. What does this mean? Multiplication by 0 becomes 0. Please remember, division by 0 is undefined. Not non-real. Non-real is a negative under the third perfect square. This is non-real. So don't think multiplication by 0 is not allowed. Yes, it's fine. It's just 0. But minus 2 times positive 3 becomes minus 6. Minus 6 minus 0, minus 6. Okay.